Hi, everyone. Welcome to New Realtor Marketing and Mindset. And today's topic was YouTube 101. And this is our Clubhouse recap session. So thank you so much for joining. And today, Jacob and I had an awesome session where we talked about a number of different things about starting your YouTube channel and really, positioning your channel, talking about goal setting and getting started with key features and how to really think about building out your channel. And we went into talking about keywords, content, scheduling your content, script writing, and really wrapped it all up with collaboration and why you want to take your content to the next level or your channel to the next level through collaborating with other people. So Jacob, let's start with, starting out your channel, setting up your channel. What are some key things we should keep in mind?
Definitely. So starting up your channel, you're going to think about your branding of your channel. You're going to think about how you're going to name your channel. And, you want to really research your area and who is on YouTube before you pick your name. So some people tend to go just with their name, or for instance, Jacob Shireman or Jacob Shireman Houston Realtor, or you can do living in Houston or living in Miami or wherever area you're at. But make sure that you're researching how many of those names are out there. You don't want to get them confused with somebody else, or somebody thinks they're watching your channel and they're watching somebody else. And you also want to obviously pick a name or an area that doesn't have a lot of competition, that doesn't have a lot of people in it, so that way you stand out. And it's okay to focus on a small area too, especially if you're in a big metropolitan area like Houston. There's plenty of business in all these areas. So be really strategic in how you're setting up your channel, your naming, and then your branding. We talked about, you can use Canva. I think we all use it at this point. And, there's different responsive shapes. It's a little tricky even for somebody that's experienced, because even though you go on Canva and you have the big banner, it's still, it's going to segment into smaller parts, and you just have to play with it. When you go to upload it into YouTube, it's automatically going to show you where each device is going to be able to see, whether it's a tablet, a cell phone, or a TV. So make sure that you're playing with it. It's going to take a little time, and that you're going to have a cohesive brand.
I love that. And when thinking about setting up your channel, it's super important that whatever name you choose, and that's why it's so important that we mention this again, is aligned with everything else that you're doing, right? Make sure your channel name on YouTube isn't any different, and that's why it's so key in establishing your brand and setting up your channel. It really is a marketing and branding exercise, making sure you're choosing the right name, choosing a name that is connected with all of your brand, but thinking long-term as well. Let's say you do something like, Jacob Shireman Realtor, and then you end up growing your team. You can always remember thinking about maybe you can do Jacob Shireman Realty Group or real estate group or something like that. Really thinking about, your future goal and thinking about, it's not really, and thinking about search as well. And that's what you mentioned is super important. And when creating and setting up your account, some of the things that you want to keep in mind is you're creating, you have your look and feel that you have going on in terms of your brand, and is carried out through your YouTube channel as well, starting with your channel art, making sure you're putting content on that is important, that is, those right keywords that are targeting your audience. And that's why, when you're setting up your YouTube channel, some of the more important, like the key information is thinking about the goal, like what is this channel serving, like who is it targeting, and making sure all of that is seen through in your thumbnails and in your channel art. So when people are coming, they automatically know this channel is for me. This is what it gives me the right information. They're going to like your content. They're going to subscribe. And so when you're thinking about creating a channel art, like you said, Canva is great for templates, making sure that you are creating content in a way that is responsive to mobile as well as desktop, and also YouTube TV as well, right? So you can make sure your content are and fit into that, and use high quality photos of yourself as well, and whoever is on your team that you're putting on YouTube as well, and that you're between your thumbnail and your channel art, they're both not aligned. And when you talk about channel art, often it's that overhead, that banner that is used in your channel. That's what we call it, channel art, especially for those people that are just starting to use YouTube. And then last thing I wanted to talk about when we talk about setting up your channel is your intro video. It doesn't have to be long. It can be 30 seconds to maybe a minute and a half, and making sure you're streamlined and you're telling people what they can expect to see on your channel. They get to see a little bit of your personality, and you're telling people, if you tune in, this is what my channel is all about. And do keep in mind, folks, you can change this video maybe 3 to 4 months later on when you're thinking about maybe your channel is growing and you're starting to include other content and to target similar audience, but maybe you're growing as a channel and as a brand. And it's okay to change some of your channel art to revamp up your branding. But for now, just make sure consistency is key. And next, we want to move into creating content. And when you're thinking about creating content, one of the most important thing is ensuring that you have, again, we go right back to this, right? It's really starting from business planning and making sure that you are time blocking when you're going to be, how are you going to be doing this? How are you going to take on this big endeavor of going into YouTube, and whether from script writing to creating content and it's editing. Editing is a big undertaking, and then making sure you're doing your research to post them and using the right keywords. So it is a big undertaking. You and I know this. You have to make it an activity that you enjoy, because it's going to take a lot out of you. And when I talk about creating content, I really automatically go to batch recording. And I recently really started doing that. Maybe the past 2 months I've been batch recording, and it made a big difference. Honestly, I batch recorded this weekend. I literally, between my husband and I, we have 2 months worth of content, and we post we post 4 videos a week, and we post really 2 a week. And because of our Clubhouse recaps, now it's kind of given us a little bit more content, which is awesome. So anything else you want to add when you're talking about creating content?
Yeah, also just look at what everybody's doing in your area. I think the number one reason people don't get started is they don't know what to do, or they think they got to create some video that nobody's seen before. It's okay. Look at what's going on in your area. Every area is going to be different, but look at your area and see what are some trending video topics. I did the same thing for here. When I finally decided that I want to focus on Sugar Land, Texas, it was a Houston suburb. Then I started looking at what videos stand out. What do people want to see? Is it 5 reasons why you should move here? Or is it, a vlog of the area, So you've got to see what is really trending in your area and go for that. And some things that we had mentioned in the video, I think is really helpful too, is you talk about batch recording, which is something I need to move into. But with batch recording, you can also do that of the area. So one of a really successful channel here, they just go out and they show the neighborhoods. They'll go to all the mastermind communities or master planned communities, and they'll just give video footage. So as they're talking, you're seeing it in action. You don't really have to go anywhere. And a lot of people might think that that's a lot of time-consuming effort, but you could batch record, take a day on a weekend that's a beautiful day, and take a selfie stick and go in your car as you're driving and just hold it out the window. You don't care about the sound because you're gonna cut that sound out anyways. And just batch record some neighborhoods, or go for a walk and record the amenities, the lakes, the trails, things like that. And now you have an entire video archive and library of your area that anytime you do a video, you can just pull from there. Or if you just want to cut to a shot of the area, and you don't have to get your face on camera, it's a way to kind of get rid of that too. But, that is something that's helpful. So just see what everybody else is doing, make it your own. If you want to steal their 5 points on why you should move here, give a different reason, but you got to be very careful on, you don't want to plagiarize them, but, you don't have to reinvent the wheel. So it is possible. You just got to start.
Yeah, absolutely. And when you're thinking about looking at what other people are doing and repeating their content or duplicating it, guys, you can credit them, ask them for permission. And when I talk about repeating content, I mean, like, you can find a blog, and often a lot of city websites have this, government websites, where they have blogs of most places to visit, or tourism sites. Take content from there, guys, and you can give a quick shout out to the people where you take it from, and it's free advertising, free promo, and you can go one step and get that permission as well. And it just makes your content media. It gives accuracy to your content because it's coming from a well-recognized place, and it's in giving you clout too, kind of giving you a bigger reach as well, which is super important. And when thinking about creating content as well, I wanted to talk about equipments and tools to use. Remember, starting and doing them is the most important thing. Don't hold yourself back because you don't have access to big funds. You don't need the perfect camera. I literally use my Samsung S20 to film. I have a small ring light that I use, but remember, I use that only when I'm recording like this at nighttime. But really, I leverage the daylight it makes a big difference for me. And the biggest investment, which is, I think it was like $25 plus tax, was my mic. It was a clip-on mic that I used, which connects directly to my phone, and it makes a world of difference. You don't need anything like a wireless mic. And of course, when I start doing a lot more property tours and things where, you know, I'm going into town and I have to be a little bit away from my camera, I may want to invest in wireless mics. But I think for now, you know, even, and I also have a tripod that where my phone is held, which is the most important thing. So just get those key tools available to you that you can get. We just got them on Amazon, and I can even put a link here. Again, I'm not paid by any of, I'm not funded, but we're not, Jacob and I are not associated with any of these, affiliated with them. But you know what, we'll share them in our private Facebook group as well. So some of the tools that we use, but whatever that's available in your area, it should only cost you maybe under $100 to get a lot of some of these items aligned up to get you started with recording. So I wouldn't use that as an excuse to hold yourself back, if that makes sense. And the next topic that I wanted to jump to is keywords, ranking, and just leveraging a couple of tools in order to use that. And number one thing is, folks, is in order for YouTube algorithm to work in your favor and for that organic search to work, is you want to implement keywords. So leverage that title, character space, and also that description to the best of your ability with tons of meat and keywords that you want to be able to people to look up. Remember, this is evergreen content. These are content that's going to live forever. And you want these content when people are searching. Remember, Google owns YouTube. So that's why when you go on Google and you put in a certain search, you get videos that come up in that search, just because it's all connected and it's helping you with your brand. It's free advertising, so take advantage of that. And one of the tools that I use is, I use actually the free version of Keywords Everywhere and vidIQ, and I use a paid version of TubeBuddy, and that's just my own personal preference of, and you know, and it's not that expensive. I think I pay $15 something a monthly on Canadian, and 182 roughly around a year annually basis. And it gives me a ton of information from keywords of other videos. It's kind of like a plugin almost in your Chrome browser, and it gives you like a skeleton view of all of the videos that you're looking, and it gives you all the keywords that other people are using, and it gives you a ranking on those keywords. So it's super helping you elevate your content to the next level.
Right, and I use the same thing as well. And so, you know, one thing when you want to think about keywords, don't always try to go after all the high keywords that everybody's using. You know, you have to start low, no matter if you're building a website or YouTube, any type of search engine optimization, you always want to start with, especially when you're new, with low or medium competition keywords, meaning that there's still some searches for them, but there's not a lot of people using them or competing for them. And that goes back to looking at your areas. You know, if you're targeting the same thing that 100 other realtors are targeting your area, and remember, when you're talking about a city and what it's like to live there, it's not just realtors that are making those videos. It's other companies, it's people that want to get you know, traffic or show things to do in an area. So you're going to have a lot of people talking about your city. So just make sure that you're picking keywords that you can compete with, that you don't have a high competition for, and that you can show through and climb those rankings. And you know, and the thing is, as you get more views, you're going to climb up that algorithm with YouTube, and your content's going to be more predominant. So help yourself out and don't try to compete with the big dog just yet. Start small, and it's okay. And then every video you'll get more and more views.
Awesome. I love that. And next week, I want to jump into collaborating, really about building your content, taking it to the next level, and really going out of your comfort zone a little bit. But it's a really progressional comfort zone, because you can collaborate with other people like this, how Jacob and I are doing on Zoom call. You can jump on a Zoom call and collaborate with people on your team, right, folks? Remember, you are going to be working with mortgage agents, lawyers, and insurance brokers, like tons of different people that are going to help drive your business. And these people are part of your team, an extended team. So as you can see on my channel, I have tons of different interviews that I've done with designers, mortgage agents, lawyers, and even an insurance broker, insurance and financial advisor who, you know, I did it for investment, targeting investors. And I also did a video with paralegal targeting tenants and landlords. So really, remember, when you're aligning with these people, they're a direct reflection of your brand. So it's super important that people that you have on your channel, you know, you trust their content, they're an expert in what they're talking about, you know, they're actually credible, like they have certification or their license to speak and give expert advice, and they're actually comfortable in front of the camera as well. And I know that people don't get comfortable overnight, but this is where you can brief them and explain to them, are you okay to do this? Maybe would you want to do a test run before we jump in, because people get nervous in front of the camera. And you can let them know that you are able to edit some of the things out. So if they get nervous and say something that isn't, exactly what they want to say, that's okay. You can edit this out. But I think you can have that conversation with people so that you really is driving the content that's on your platform, and it's evergreen content.
Yeah, and just like we talked about tonight, when you're working with these people and you're constantly showing other professionals on your channel, it gives you more credibility, especially as a new realtor. You need as much credibility as you can. And that's a quick way to build up credibility. And a perfect example, like you talked about, you did the designer on how to stage and prep your house if you're going to renovate it to sell it. And another thing that Miguel and I are doing, because he's a veteran, that's how we purchased our home, is through the VA loan. And it's so shocking that so many veterans don't use a great loan here, because you don't have to have a down payment. There's so many benefits. So what we did is we reached out to a mortgage broker that we work with, and he's an expert in VA loans. He actually even goes to DC and helps with some of the laws and stuff. So he's a true expert. So we're going to do a video series on the whole VA loan. So find people that you're working with, and the other thing is, you're leveraging their audience, you're leveraging their social media presence, and they're going to post their video because they're going to be excited. They're going to want to promote that video. And so then that's going to bring in more subscribers, more views, and that's what you need. So especially as a new realtor, because that's our focus, this gives you credibility. And you as a new realtor should be networking with every professional you can think of. That way, movers, insurance agents, financial planners, anything that can know the school systems, the principals. I mean, network with people, and that way it's building your credibility, especially on your YouTube channel.
Absolutely. And, we have we were really coming to the end of our sessions, and I love that we built a really good momentum in talking about these content. And really, if you've noticed that there's a really common thread that ties everything together and is getting to the right mindset. And YouTube is one of those things that before you start filming, absolutely. And, and you want to align yourself. I love it. Mindset separates the best from the rest. I love it. And, and making sure that you are in the right headspace and you can practice. I practice in front of the mirror. I actually had a number of test rounds, even of myself talking, and I find out that I talk really fast and I do these things with my hands and I make a lot of eye movements, and you're your own best critic, but you sometimes can hold yourself back from putting yourself on camera. And you might actually be great on camera, but you think that you're not, because you are focusing on all the little things that, growing up, somebody has pointed out to you and now it's coming to haunt you, right? But remember, tell yourself your content is great. As long as you do your research, you give credit to those that deserve the credit when you're using other people's content, and that you're providing good quality information. And that's all that what matters, folks. And get yourself in front of the camera, get yourself, it's a free platform, and I encourage you to use it. And if this video, you find it insightful and helpful, please leave us a comment. We love knowing that we're helping people throughout some of the content that Jacob and I are doing. And, with our background in marketing, when we're also new to YouTube as well. And we love that we're learning and we're sharing. So we're so happy that, a lot of people are tuning into this and watching. So it means a lot. So let us know, and feel free to, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up, and feel free to subscribe as well. And make sure you say that in some of your videos that you're doing as well. You're calling to action of you want more people to do, because sometimes people love what they're watching and they forget to do that part. So, and before we end off, I just wanted to say, just do it, get started, and learn along the way. And also, if you like these sessions and you want to tune in, please feel free to join, request access to our private Facebook page group, which is the name of this group, which is New Realtor Marketing and Mindset. And we'd love to have you. And if you're ever looking to join myself or Jacob on our team, feel free to check the link in our description below to book a one-on-one with us as well. And any last words, Jacob, before we close the room?
Well, that's just, like you said, just get started. And remember, all of these people that are really good on YouTube, like they have a great video, they got great quality, they make mistakes too. My first video, I think I recorded it. It took me 5 days to record my first video because I literally kept starting and I hated it. But once you get on, you'll do well, and you'll start seeing positive comments. So
true.
people actually don't see the same things that you see because you're your own worst critic, or your worst enemy sometimes. But just go out there, do it, make it happen. And like you said, it's free, right? So utilize all these free resources that you can, because why not? You know, even if it brings in 1 or 2 clients, it's worth it because it's free. So utilize these free resources. Don't be afraid to realize what, you know, what didn't work. Don't give up. Just keep going. Even if you only get a few views on that video, it's okay. We have some that only got 20, but you know, you have some that have a couple hundred and the thousands, and you know, every video is going to be different, but don't give up. That's the key. Just keep going and learn from, just elevate your brand every time you do something, and learn from those mistakes, and it's just gonna lead to success. So
yeah, and speaking of surprises, I'm still surprised at some of the videos that are doing really exceptionally well, and I'm like, oh, of all the videos, that video, I'm not wearing the right outfit. But anyways, it's hilarious, right? But thank you so much, everyone. We love having you. Take good care.
bye.